All right. Since it is 7 o'clock, I will start the meeting. I see most of us are here. Almost everybody. So today is Monday, September 18th. It is 7 o'clock on the dot. So we will start this meeting of the Norton Finance Committee. And I will start by saying hello to you all and then taking a roll call for attendance. Kevin.
Present.
Paula.
Here.
Steve.
Here.
Trace.
Here.
Sandy.
Here.
Joe.
Here.
Bill. There were two of you a minute ago. Did you say here, Bill? Is anyone here, Bill?
No.
Bill, we cannot hear you. Hopefully you heard that. Somebody type into the chat to let Bill know that we can't. Oh, there he is. I can see you. Can you hear me? Yes, you can. Well, that's good. Paul.
Here.
Cody. He did mention he might be a few minutes late. Paul, did I hear you? I saw you like 7 minutes ago. And Zach.
Here.
Hi, Zach. And Michael. I see you are here also.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. I am
Bonnie, just to let you know, my internet connection is terrible.
Oh, I can see that because I can hear you, but you're not moving. All right. Thanks, Joe. We love that. We love internet connection issues. Where shall we begin?
You want me to start?
Mike, it is 7:02. Why not?
All right. And can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So with the final budget approved by the state, we didn't have much of a change. As you can see on the bottom, a surplus of $26,000 after all the final negotiations were done. And just a couple changes were unrestricted government aid. We received $1,400,000, and the charter school tuition increased to 1.291. And then there were some small expenses where increases where I'm reading the wrong thing. I'm sorry. The school choice receiving tuition increased from $1,329,000 to $1,402,000. So an increase of $72,873. And the local aid increased $67,257. And then there were some small increases in school choice tuition assessments and charter school tuition assessments. 4,000 roughly on the school choice tuition assessments, and roughly 3,000 on the charter school tuition assessments. Okay.
All right. Anybody have any questions about that before we move on?
All right. Moving right along then. All right. On the free cash, can you see the free cash? Is that sharing?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So our free cash, probably the highest number we've ever had, $4,928,970. For turnbacks on the free cash, there was $1,955,960. And the bulk of that obviously was the health insurance holiday, which was almost 1.4 million. And the schools turned back $207,743, and that'll be used for the train debt payments. And in human services, there was $125,656 turned back, and that was due to the lack of being able to hire a nurse, and also turnbacks from veterans services clients that either moved out of town or we didn't have new clients come on. And I think you have the
Could you
summary.
explain, Mike,
Yep, go ahead.
there it is, what the other total functions are? Just.
Yeah.
It's not clear.
So total function 1 would be general government. 2 is public safety. 3 is the schools. 4 would be highway. 5 is human services. 6 would be debt. And then 9 is all the benefits.
You're going to keep us in suspense about who turned back $2?
I'm trying to remember who that was. I forget who that was.
Doesn't even pay for a coffee anymore. Okay.
And the bulk of 1 would probably, more than likely, is the reserve fund. Whatever we didn't use in the reserve fund gets turned back. And so on the other side of free cash, on receipts, our interest was 800,000 higher than anticipated. The main reasons for that are, 1, obviously, the Fed's increasing interest rates, so we benefit from that. And the Treasurer's been moving funds around to higher interest-bearing accounts in banks. And also, we have more cash because of opioid settlement funds, cannabis impact funds, and ARPA funds that we're holding on to. And also, so on the opioid settlement funds, we had $201,801. And in a future meeting, you'll see we have an article for that because we can only spend that on certain things to deal with opioid, and we're working with NOPE on that. And then also the cannabis impact fees, $85,000 came in on that. And we also have to, we have another article for that because we can only use that for certain things. And based on some of the legislation that's changing, there may even be a need to give that money back. So we'll have to hold on to that. Another revenue source was a one-time $250,000 for the second digital signboard out on 495.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead, Paul.
Mike, the monies raised from the real estate that was sold, that's not being included anywhere in this year's budget because of the potential issues?
No, because it's not part of the FY23 this budget the FY24 budget. It was after the year closed when we were receiving that money, so that money will be FY25.
And that's notwithstanding the recent judgment that might say it not be ours anyways?
Right. Yeah. Any other questions on the free cash?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Bill.
Mike,
Mhm.
do we get in any trouble when our free cash is so high? I mean, do we get critiqued?
No, the higher the better.
I understand that for us, but does any outside body say, hey, you guys, too much free cash, you need to plan better?
No, I'm sure when we go on our Standard and Poor's call, that will be going on soon, they'll be very happy that we have a high free cash, because they'll look at it as you're being conservative in your budgeting and your estimates, and we like that. As long as you're putting money into stabilization and OPEB, it's a good thing. As long as you're not spending all your free cash, they'd look at that as a bad thing.
Yeah, that's a bad thing. Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yeah, go ahead, Kevin.
Mike, in the next budget cycle, are we still going to try to hire, I think it's a public health nurse? In this,
We are.
it sounded like we weren't very competitive with salaries, and that's been open for quite a while.
Yeah, we're still gonna try. We're trying. I know the health agent is trying to work on different options, but we're still gonna try. I know when it comes to flu shots coming up, the school nurse is gonna help him with that.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Cody.
Mike, is it possible to use free cash to fund stabilization? I know we're trying to get stabilization up to the level it needs to be to maintain our credit rating, right? That was part of one of the discussions before annual town meeting. While it's good to have the buffer, it's almost like we're not utilizing this the best way we could.
Yeah, later on we'll have two articles, one for OPEB and one for stabilization. So we will be putting money into both of those.
And
hopefully.
that'll come from free cash?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Zach.
Cody, that was part of the deal when we gave the stabilization funds to the school department, that it would come from free cash back into the stabilization account in the fall.
That was the assumption coming from the Medicare or the medical give backs, right? Or the breaks. So this has already been certified, like those breaks have already hit free cash.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Gotcha.
Next, I just wanted to show you in our local receipts. I gotta move. We've added a new category here, which is excise from the sale of cannabis of 50,000. So hopefully we do have one operator in town, and hopefully a second soon. And we wanted to add that line in so we could start seeing the excise tax we receive from the sale of cannabis, 3% on the sale.
Mike, is that for a full year of operation?
The 54,000 they just hit, well, September 17th, they hit their 1 year. So that would cover from September last year up until June 30th.
Any questions about local receipts?
Sure.
Yes, Cody, go ahead.
Mike, is there any stipulation on the cannabis excise, what that has to go towards? That just goes straight into the...
Right. That's a general fund receipt. Just goes straight in. Yep.
Good deal.
And just, when I know we're not talking about this tonight, but just showing, you have this in your packet, just showing the stabilization. And so we'll be proposing later on in an article to increase our stabilization account. And also, I'd hope, we'll be talking about this later in the article, and I'd hope we'd keep our trend going with OPEB, where we've been increasing $5,000 a year. So hopefully this year we'll put 120,000 in, and the fund is starting to grow. And when you think about back in FY12, we had $1,000 in there. We're now up to over $1 million. And our goal is to keep increasing the amount till we get to a point where we're putting it 200,000 at least in a year until the county retirement system is fully funded, and then we'll relook at that and maybe be able to put more money in.
Mike, does that go into an interest bearing or an investment account, or is it just separately accounted for?
Yeah, it's a special revenue account, so it's invested. All right.
Mike, on the OPEB, what is the high water mark?
Where we should be?
Correct.
I forget. I'll get that for you, but it's at least 60 million, I think.
So if we add 5,000 a year,
till we get to 200.
and then get to 200.
This is like high school math. Somebody do it.
Yeah, it's never. So what the goal is, if we start adding 200,000 a year, and if the county is funded in 2034 or whatever they are expecting that the pension will be fully funded, then, we're putting over $2 million a year into the pension fund. The anticipation would be that 2 million would go to OPEB once we're off of that.
Got it.
And Mike, I imagine that the discount rate is going to be changing significantly from prior year, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
So I know, obviously, the retirement board will have to do their actuarials, and I'm not sure where they are on their investments right now.
Madam Chair.
Joe, go ahead.
Mike, am I misremembering, or maybe I'm mixing up the accounts? I thought OPEB and stabilization were supposed to be a percentage of our budget.
Not OPEB. Stabilization, yes. You want to try and get to 5% of your budget. But OPEB, I mean, if you were fully funded, tonight we'll be asking for funds to fund the actuarial study. Again, every 2 years we have to do it. And so they'll be coming up with a number this year. They'll probably look worse than the previous year, but it's just something they put in a few years ago, probably a decade ago now, more than a decade, that they wanted towns to at least start making some effort, just so they're aware that they have this possibility, which I don't see ever happening, as I always say, unless a town declared bankruptcy and shut down. They're always going to continue to fund it.
So can we assume that most other towns are in the same position we are, where like the OPEB amount is way off from what the recommendation is?
Yeah, as I've said before, there's only one town that's fully funded. Wellesley did a debt exclusion to fully fund their OPEB, but nobody else is even close.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Just update on the project. I don't know if you've had a chance to see the senior center's moving forward. They were putting in the windows and siding last week. The town hall, the foundation's fully in. They're working on the elevator shaft right now. They've connected some drainage in from the town hall parking lot and through the site. So everything's moving forward on those two projects. On the train project, the Yelp School is now active, and the high schools will be active soon. So all the projects are moving forward. The 123 project, they'll be finishing that this fall, thank God. They're starting to raise all the structures now to get ready for the final paving. And once that's done, the final paving and striping of the roads, they'll be activating the lights. And the bike trail is moving forward. They've moved down now along North Washington Street, so they'll be working between 123 and Cobb Street this construction season.
Any questions?
Madam Chair?
Go ahead, Zach.
Mike, has there been an assessment done by the treasurer on the impact of the interest rates of these projects? Saying it's significantly different than when they were proposed, even though they are being covered by the debt exclusion?
Well, we'll find, we haven't really done that yet. So as I said, we're going to be talking with Standard & Poor's soon, because we're getting ready to go out to borrow. So we'll see what interest rate we get and then look at that.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Cody.
do you have an idea of when the budget estimates were used? Obviously, the interest rates were way less at the time. Was it 3 years ago? Whenever that went through.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an idea of what the estimated interest rates were that were used for the projections at that time?
I do. I don't have it with me, so I'm not sure. Usually we projected around 4%, but I'll double check on that. And the projects did come in. I don't remember if you're aware of this or not, but the senior center came in $1 million under what was estimated, and the town hall came in $2 million under what was estimated. So
that'll offset the interest.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully.
Madam Chair?
Go ahead, Zach.
Have they, Mike, put back, I know you said that you got a couple million left, but they stripped out a bunch of things like no furniture in the senior center and all that. Is that going to be put back into the project using some of that funds? I mean, I haven't followed the meetings of the building committee lately, but I don't know if you're aware.
I know they have put some things back because I know there's a furniture committee at the COA working on the furniture, so I know furniture's back in there. I can't tell you exactly what else was added back. They're still working on trying to get donations for a lot of the items that were cut out.
Any other questions about the projects?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Cody.
do we have any revenues coming in from the rental of the fields? Do you know that, or does that go into the school budget?
Yeah, I don't know that, Cody. That would go into a revolving fund that the schools would have, but I'm not sure if they've been renting them out or not.
I know there were some rentals this past season. It was a minor point of contention early on for some of the town sports. So hopefully they've got some coming in.
All right, I'll check for you. All right.
Meeting with the school department, school
Oh,
committee.
that's right.
Thursday, the 28th, next Thursday, 10 days from now. So that's a plug for that meeting. That meeting is in person. And just want to let everybody know that it's actually going to be at the high school library. I believe the location got changed to. So there will be a reminder and material sent out and everything, but one, I just wanted to mention that now. And also I got a message from Jen O'Neill asking what we would like to discuss. So it sounds like that could be a great question to ask then. And anything else that you would like to see on the agenda, we could brainstorm at some point before then. I imagine we'll have a meeting next Monday as well. So, but if there are things anybody wants to throw on the agenda now, I'm happy to let Jen know. Excuse me, Dr. O'Neill. Show some respect. So does anybody have anything to throw out now, or should Mike continue? It looks like we have a few warrant article discussions, Mike.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Zach?
I just like to know her overall budget. I know they applied for some grants over the summer. Did they get them? Where is that money being used? What were the final cuts of last year? Was it what was discussed at the final school committee meeting? Or was they able to find some revenue over the summer? I'm just looking for a general, financial update as to where they stand.
I don't have it with me, but I know they were successful on 2 grants at least. I know that I saw this week.
But I don't know, did they save any positions that they were looking to cut by using that grant money? I mean, I don't know if anybody else is aware, but I haven't seen any updates since, I think the last school committee meeting where you were at, I think also, Bonnie.
Yeah. I don't know, was
Yeah,
that the
Matt.
last one of the year?
I believe so. That was the last one.
Yeah, Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead, Steve.
It's one of the things, to Zach's point, we had met early on and the expectation was we were supposed to be getting budget versus actual reports regularly, monthly. In addition to that would be the balances of their reserve funds or their cash intake funds, as well as any year-end transfers from account to account. They're unique in the fact that they're a bottom line budget, so they can make transfers, and a little bit more on their warrants, so we can see where they are. We keep hearing about, end of dollar expenses, but not really nothing from beginning to end. It's the biggest budget we have, and we don't seem to really getting any financial reporting all year.
Okay, so you said budget versus actual monthly reports, cash intake reports, transfers made at the end of the year?
Anytime during the year. They're a bottom line budget, so they can move funds from salary to supplies to salary, just so we can get an understanding or a better understanding of how the funds are being utilized and when they get transferred.
Yep. Okay. Anything else?
Okay, want to move on to the articles?
Sounds good to me.
So the first article is Article 1. It's prior year bills, and we don't have any prior year bills. So we won't need any action on that.
So we need to vote in the affirmative for no action.
Right.
So we will vote. And if you are voting to take no action, then you are voting no. Or voting yes to take no action.
Voting yes to take no action.
That's right. Okay. The chair.
Madam Chair, sorry.
You were very loud.
Do I make a motion to take no action on Article 1 for the fall town meeting?
Thank you, Paula.
Second.
Thank you, Bill. I will take a roll call vote as soon as I find my list. Kevin.
Yes.
Paula.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Trace.
Yes.
Yes.
Sandy. Joe.
Yes.
Bill.
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
and I too am a yes.
Okay, the next article for tonight is Article 12, and that's the Gatsby that we had talked about. And I'm looking to see if the Finance Committee would agree to use $20,000 of free cash to hire an actuarial to do our Gatsby study on post-employment benefits.
Any questions?
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead, Zach.
this is required, you said, Mike?
It is.
And Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Bill.
and Mike, it's every 2 years versus
Correct.
anything longer?
Every 2 years.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Cody.
Mike, was this bid out and 20,000 is the winning bid?
So 20,000 will get us 2 cycles, so we'll be able to do this year, and then there'll probably be enough money to do this in 2 years again.
But was it bid, or do we have a standing actuary, like an agreement with?
We have a standing actuarial that we use.
Chair.
Yes, go ahead, Joe.
Mike, given our generally tight budget, why are we setting aside money for 2 years from now?
Just so we're prepared when it comes again. When we have it.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Bill.
Mike, is this? I don't know how to put this. Is this going to be in writing? So 2 years from now, when it comes up, we're going to say no because we've already paid for it.
We'll have a contract.
Okay. Thank you.
Chair.
Cody, is that you?
Yeah.
Go
So,
ahead.
Mike, just to be clear, if we're approving $20,000 this year,
Yep.
Your expected expenditure is $10,000. Then the extra 10,000 would go into free cash, and then next year when it comes up and it's needed again, we would pull
No.
from free cash.
No, we just stay in this article, so it would not become free cash. It would only, if it, in 2 years, it would use this money. It stays right in this article.
Is there a disadvantage to just funding it for the 10,000 this year and then asking for 10,000 in 2 years?
No,
Or is the contract given 20,000 for 2 audits? Or is it like 10,000 and we're just estimating 10,000 for the next one?
yeah, we could, it's just estimating 10,000 for the next one.
So if it was above 10,000 for the next one, you'd be coming back and asking for more.
Right.
For what it's worth, I'd rather fund what we know it's going to be now and then ask for what it's going to be in 2 years. I know we're talking small dollars in the overall budget, but
That's fine.
Any other thoughts in either direction?
Madam Chair,
Damn direction. Go ahead, Kevin.
the only thing I could think of would be that if we get multiple cycles, we get a discount by signing up with somebody over a couple of cycles. That's the only reason I could think to the counter.
Is that the case, Mike?
I'm looking at it. I don't see that mentioned. I just see, James said last time we did 20,000 for a year.
I'm sure.
So you could just do the 10.
Yeah, so we
Ready?
so we know that it is 10,000 this time. Like that number is set by the auditor. They've given us that number.
Yes.
And they have not given us a number for 2 years from now.
No.
Madam Chair?
Go ahead, Bill.
Mike, did I just hear you say that James told you the last time it was 20, or did I mishear that?
Last time he said that you did 20,000 for 4 years.
So the price is fairly stable?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other discussion or questions?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Cody?
if we wanted to amend the
If I,
recommendation, go ahead, Mike.
I'm sorry. I am looking at his from the Parker Elmore who's doing this, and I don't see offering the next year, the next cycle yet. So if you do the one cycle, and I talked to James and he said we really need the other, I could come back.
Sorry, what were you going to say, Cody?
Yeah, so if are we amending the request? Do we have to make a motion to request an amended article, or how are we doing that?
No,
It has
the article doesn't have an amount in it. It's just whatever you appropriate.
Right. So we're not at if we wanted to change it once it had gone into the warrant, once the warrant had been printed, then that's when we run into issues. But right now there's no number. There's an article written, but there's no number.
So the motion would have the number that we're recommending for the article?
Correct.
Yes. And then that what puts it into the article.
Gotcha.
So if there is no more questions or discussion on Article 12, as it is right now, the chair will entertain a motion to set aside $10,000 of free cash to hire an actuarial to review OPEB.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Paula.
I make a motion that we raise and appropriate $10,000 from available funds to mandated actuarial, that's a really hard word to say, reporting requirements of post-employment benefits.
So that would be 10,000 from free cash.
From free cash.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. I will take a roll call vote. Kevin,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Steve,
Yep.
Trace,
Yes.
Sandy,
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
and I too am a yes. That is 11.
All right. Thank you. Next is Article 13. So you may remember in May we had an article for special legislation to allow us to use the prudent investor rule. And right when we were about to move that legislation forward, as it was approved by town meeting, the budget, as part of the state budget, I think you may have it in your packet, that the governor signed as part of it was put forward by the Massachusetts Collectors and Treasurers Association. They made it now so that if town meeting votes to accept Mass General Law Chapter 203C, you can use the prudent investor rule. So we really don't need to move forward with the special legislation if town meeting votes to accept this statute. So we're asking that you vote to recommend that the town accept Mass General Law Chapter 203C, which is the Massachusetts Prudent Investment Act.
Any questions or discussion?
Okay.
Yes, Cody?
So Mike, this chapter 203C is an amendment of Mass General Law that we have to adopt, or it's like a rider that sits outside of it that's up for election into by the town.
The town meeting would need to vote to accept it, and once the town meeting votes to accept it, we can use prudent investor.
Madam Chair?
Go ahead, Kevin.
So Mike, those that are managing funds now, what kind of what are their guiding principles now?
So right now, the state has a list of places you can invest your money, certain companies, and that's it. With prudent investor, it would allow us to invest in other options, just for our trust funds.
So
It basically expands the list, right?
So
Exactly.
as opposed to a static list of investments you can choose from,
Right.
it gives us or whomever the flexibility, as long as they're acting like a fiduciary and treating the assets like they're their own, more flexibility in investment.
Correct.
Got it.
And I'm not sure if the treasurer is on or not. I was looking to see if she might want to say
Did
something.
not see her.
Okay.
I was going to ask how do we define excessively risky? Like, is that in the law somewhere, or is it a certain amount of volatility in the asset, or?
So we work with a financial advisor, on our trust funds right now. So they would work with us on where we invest the funds.
So could we get into I'm just not trying to be funny, but does this allow us to get into derivative trading and things, or is this still largely fixed income stuff?
It's largely conservative, fixed income options.
Any other questions?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Cody.
Mike, I'm gonna go out on a big limb here and assume that there is still some standard of what prudent investor is defined as. Are
Correct.
we talking? It has to be investment grade, A- above, all of that stuff, and it can't be if it gets downgraded, that has to be swapped. If the investment grade gets downgraded, then it would have to be reinvested.
Correct.
And the broker or whoever's handling that is a fiduciary of the accounts.
Yes.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead,
Do we
Kevin.
know?
I just Googled it. It says diversification is explicitly required. No category of investment is inherently imprudent. Suitability of the portfolio needs to be considered. Investment in liens, limited partnerships, futures, similar investments are possible. Speculation and outright risk taking are not sanctioned.
All right.
So,
Cody, I think you froze.
broker is that we're working with. We would have to define the parameters of what we find acceptable, or is it set at the state level of what's defined as acceptable?
I didn't hear the last part.
Is it set? Does each town
Yeah.
identify what is considered acceptable for prudent investment, or is it set at a general level at the state?
Yeah, it's set. The Collectors and Treasurers Association works with the state on setting that.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Sorry for so many questions, Mike.
Oh, Kevin.
So with this newfound freedom, is there something in the 24? I mean, is there more of a, like, is there a different expense profile to this more active management? Like, I don't know if we've had a third party already hired. And this would be continuation, just expanding their portfolio of what they can invest in.
We do
Is there
that.
an expense to this now.
No, we have someone that we're already using for the Hicks Fund.
Okay.
This is just the trust funds, right, Mike? This isn't retirements or pensions or.
No, it's just our trust funds.
Any other questions?
I was wondering if you were all still there.
There's a pregnant pause. All right, hearing none. The chair will entertain a motion for Article 13, to recommend the town accept MGL Chapter 203C, Massachusetts Prudent Investor Act.
Madam Chair,
Hey, Paula.
I make a motion that we recommend Article 13 for fall town meeting. For the town trust funds to be invested using the prudent investor rule found in Massachusetts General Law 203C.
Second?
Thank you, Bill. Kevin?
Yes.
Paula?
Yes.
Steve?
Yep.
Trace?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
You're so quiet. Bill?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Cody?
Yes.
Zach?
Yes.
And I too am a yes. One more?
Okay, Article 14. This is put forward by the town clerk. And Article 14 would be to see if the town would accept Mass General Law Chapter 140, Section 139C, to exempt from licensing fees service animals and dogs owned by a person aged 70 or over. And I know the town clerk is on if anyone has questions.
Hi, Lucia.
How are you?
Good. Thank you. How are you?
Oh, thank you. So, shall I speak?
Oh, sure. Jordan.
I would like to exempt, first of all, service dogs are by law exempt from being licensed. But I would like to exempt residents 70 or over. I've had several requests from residents. I did a survey with the Masstown Clerks Association, and the majority of them do not charge for dogs for residents over 70. If a resident over 70 has more than one dog, then only one dog would be exempt. So I just, well, it's a good thing to do for the seniors also.
I'm sure.
Yes, Joe.
Chair.
Hold on one second, Steve. Joe's.
Hi, Lucia. How are you?
Well, thank you. How are you?
Good. So I do think this is a good idea, but I am curious, like, what kind of financial impact are we talking about here? Like, how much will, I don't want to say lose, but how much less will we be taking in?
Joe, in all honesty, I can't see losing more than $100 a year. It's not like we have, I mean, we license just over 2,000 dogs, and it's not like there's a very small minority, very, very small amount that are over 70. I don't think it will make a big impact at all.
And the cost per dog is $10?
It's $10. If the dog is spay or neuter, it's $10. If it's not, it's $15.
I like the last sentence in the law that if someone pays by mistake, they don't get their money back.
Goes right into Lucia's.
Or if the dog dies, you town clerks, I tell you.
Oh, I know, we get that. And trust me,
Ruthless.
I had split $10 up over 12 months, but no, you can't do that.
Madam Chair.
Not prorated. Go ahead, Kevin.
Hi, Lucia.
How are you?
What if maybe this was like my kid ran and was yelling in my ear, but maybe you addressed this. But if in a household, say somebody's 65 and someone 75, we're not going to scrutinize if they're licensing under the person that's 75, that there's somebody in the house under 70. I wouldn't.
Kevin, I would base it on who comes into license. We don't get that many people at all that come in and say, there's both of us in the house, two of us in the household. I don't think that's going to raise an issue. I think if somebody said, well, I'm licensing this dog for my mother and she's 75, personally, in all honesty, I would not really accept that.
Okay.
The people who have come in, there's several people who have come in for the past couple of years and said, other towns don't license for over 70, and they look elderly, they look older, and so I thought I'd bring it forth to see if we can adopt that.
You do bring up a good point. If somebody's infirmed and can't come in, how would we handle that?
How would we handle that? I could ask for a letter.
I don't want to create a bunch of.
No, I don't.
Legally, I want to take people's word for it. Because that will. But once you get over 70, there are people that might have trouble getting in to physically do it.
Well, hopefully they're registered voters, and you can just check the Snoop book.
Yeah, I can check the Snoop book.
There you go. That's a great idea.
Good.
Wait, does Snoop
with
being able to
the voter registration system?
So Snoopy is not. That's where my went because we were talking about dogs. All right.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead, Paul.
Just a quick question. So, Lucia, I get an email every year with the deadline to license my dog, and I can easily just pay online, which is usually what I do. In this email that you send out, are you going to let people know if this passes at town meeting that if you're 70 or older, you don't have to pay this year? Because people may just automatically go pay online like I do.
Well, if they want to pay online, I can set it with the bank that it's set on the bank. If a dog's rabies has expired, they can't pay online. It picks it up. So I can set it at the bank with the bank to not it's not going to allow anybody to license if they're trying to license for free. And that's something I would not put onto the banking system to allow that to happen, because the banking system is not going to have their birth dates. That's not going to be on there. So they're either going to have to call, mail a check, or come in.
Right. But yeah, I'm just saying, they may not even know about this. I mean, just the 75 people that come to town meeting will know about it. And
I'm going to put it out there. I'll put it on my town clerk's Facebook. I'll put it on, put it on the website. I'll get that all out there. There's no problem on that. It will be known. And what we'll start doing is when people that are elderly come in, I plan on just saying to them, we are now offering licensing for one dog per household free of charge for anyone over 70. So I'll need their date of birth to get into the system, because currently we do not have their dates of birth in the system, and that's something we'll start doing. And that way, when someone turns 70, the program's going to pick it up that they're 70 years old. Well,
And we already exempt people with the service dogs. Is that what you said?
not licensed service dogs. They're free. You license them. I'm sorry, but you do not charge them.
Okay.
When they come in and they say my dog is a service dog, they have to have the paper that says their dog is a service dog.
So that information could be contained to your point, Paula, that information could be in the email that goes out, but they would still need to go in person to get the license.
They do, because
if they're over 70 or
Right.
if they have a service animal, because they cannot go through the system without.
no, they cannot go through the banking system. If it could go through the banking system, that's going to allow everybody to do that. So, but I don't think the banking system could do that anyway.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead, Zach.
how are you, Lucia?
Well, Jack, how are you?
Riveting discussion over $100, I'll tell you. I wish we had the same energy on some bigger budget items. Are you still gonna issue a license, like a free license, or the dog's not gonna have a tag at all?
The dog will definitely get a tag, and the tag number will be in the system. Everything in the dog licensing system, you have the name of the person, their address, the type of dog. We get the rabies certificate from the vet, so we know that their rabies are current. We have all the information.
Okay, if anybody comes into town hall, Lucia, and has a hardship and can't pay the fee, call me, I'll pay it, okay?
Oh, bless.
What's your number, Zach?
She's got it.
I got it. And I got 2 dogs.
Indeed.
Any other questions about the $100 Lucia wants to save our 70-plus-year-old residents? Not together, just they have to divide it up. All right. Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion to recommend the town accept MGL Chapter 140, Section 139C dog licensing fees to not charge folks over 70 for their first of however many dogs they have.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Paula.
I make a motion that we recommend Article 14 of Fall Town Meeting to accept the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 140, to exempt the licensing fees for our residents 70 or older.
All right.
Second,
Thank you. Kevin,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Trace,
Yeah.
Sandy,
yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Zach.
I don't know, can I think about it for a while?
No.
Yes.
Yes. I too am a yes. That's 11.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Lucia.
Okay. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
Night, Lucia.
Thanks for coming.
Next is Article 9. And Article 9 is we're seeking $2,000 from free cash to purchase an AED for the Everett Leonard Park. The defibrillator they have there now was not working properly, and it was so old that it just wasn't cost effective to get new parts for it. So they took the AED from the upstairs of the town hall and brought that down there this year. But this will allow them to have a new one, and we can get ours back for the upstairs of the town hall.
Oh my gosh. Call over to Everett Leonard. We have an emergency on the 2nd floor. Any questions?
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead, Zach.
is there anywhere else around the town that is lacking one of these life-saving devices, Mike?
I'm not sure. I'll check with the deputy chief and the health agent and make sure.
I would say, you want to inquire before we pass this article, because these things are short money to save somebody's lives. They should be readily available everywhere if you want to postpone it to the next meeting.
Okay.
Anyway.
Or we could approve this and then amend it.
Yep.
Zach, so I know that this came up in the on the Norton Youth Baseball Softball Board discussion. Because while there's one at Birchill, it's like in the like the concession stand and garage there at Birchill. There's not one at the baseball field at LGN. I know that, and in particular, whenever there's baseball games there, it's not like they can run into the school if their one is inside the school. So there was talk about putting one there. I don't know if Norton Youth Soccer has one at like the concession stand. So there was discussion within the board for baseball about putting some, like, basically having one that maybe potentially travels. But it would be a lot better for the town, considering their town property as well. These things are happening, to have them at least all of the common parks and fields.
Madam Chair,
Oh, go ahead, Paul.
Cody, I think that there's a problem
Uh-oh.
with them having to be kept in a heated environment because of the batteries and stuff. They would get sucked right down. I couldn't keep one of my cruiser boats parked outside.
Yeah, I know there's my neighbor down the street works as a lobbyist for the American Heart Association, and she was actually involved in trying to like procure free ones or get them donated to the town. She wasn't successful as far as I know, but I think there are some that can be stored outside and be like mounted to a fence or something where they they're kept under lock and they're perfectly fine to be outside.
And they're okay with the batteries not getting sucked right down?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I
okay.
didn't ask her, but yeah, that's what she was looking into. It was near and dear to her heart, pun intended. So, she, because it's such a big deal, especially in kids' sports where you have cardiac events.
No, I agree. They should be everywhere, Cody, but I just don't want to see someone grab one, run out to the field, and have it not work because it was exposed to the elements and wasn't designed for long term and not maintained properly.
Yeah, I think are they? Paul, if they have to be certified annually or inspected?
I think they've got to be inspected annually at least to make sure they're up to snuff. I think they do a battery check on them to make sure they can handle a load.
Yeah.
And is that something the health agent would do?
We would have
I'm not sure.
We would have the fire department do that for us.
For nominal fee, Mike? Or?
Yeah.
Any other questions about AEDs? And also, if you have thoughts about whether or not we vote it now or wait to vote it, either is fine with me. We wait to see what other locations in town might need one.
Sure. I'm in favor of voting in the affirmative now and then amending it if we need to. I'm sure there are parks in town that do not have it, other than Everett Leonard. I think that was probably most visible because there was one there already, because it's right there at the pool.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be in favor of go ahead and approve this now and then add on to it once we determine where the other ones are lacking.
All right. Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion for Article 9 to spend $2,000 from free cash for an AED for Everett Leonard.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I
Paula?
make a motion that we recommend Article 9 to use $2,000 from free cash to purchase an AED for the Everett Leonard Park.
All right,
Second.
Kevin. Oh, thank you. We did need a second, and Bill gave it. Thank you. Kevin,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Steve, Steve.
I don't see him on here. I don't know if he dropped off.
He might have dropped off. Okay. Trace.
Yeah.
Sandy.
Yes.
Joe. Did I lose two people?
No, I'm here. My connection's awful and it muted me. Yes.
All right. Bill.
Yes.
Paul.
Oh, huh? Yes.
Cody.
Yes.
Zach.
Yes.
And I too am a yes, so that is 10.
And that's all I have.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
It says town report submission. Do we need to discuss anything related to that?
Just that it's due by September 27th, I think. So, who does that? The vice chair, Bonnie?
Yes. And the chair, which brings me to reorganization.
Whoa. Town report. Is this what I did back in the spring? Is this a new thing?
This is for, it's the annual report. So it's similar. Usually you use, what you did in the spring and see if you have to make any changes.
Touch it up.
So, yeah. It's for the time, for that time, July 1 to June 30th.
Of 22 to 23.
Yeah.
Fiscal year 22.
Gotcha.
Sorry, what was that, Paul?
I just said gotcha.
Okay. I thought you said chair, and I was like, what? Okay. So we do have minutes, but before that, I mean, at least on the agenda is reorganization. So for anyone that has not been a member when we've reorganized, I think I was talking about it with Paul. We usually reorganize at this meeting every year. And so it is up for discussion who anyone wants to nominate. And we nominate for chair, and then we vote, and then we nominate for vice chair, and then we vote. So if anyone has any thoughts to share, they are welcome to. I am happy to say that I'm happy to step down. After serving for a year as vice chair with Amy and as chair this year, I am happy to hand over the tiara and the wand and the magic dust. So welcome your discussion and questions. The nomination.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Bill.
is it not normal course that the vice chair is nominated for chairmanship?
I think that sounds like a great idea.
Does Paula want such a
Honor.
fun job?
Want is such an interesting word, Bill. I will definitely do it if nominated.
Well, I would nominate Paula.
Second.
All in favor? No, we've had a nomination. I think typically we just see if there is anyone else who would like to nominate anyone else, or nominate themselves. But you're right, Bill. I mean, typically in the 6 years that I've been involved, we have seen if that's what folks want to do, is move up in the ranks. And Paula called me last night and was like, please tell me I get to do this next. I can't wait. Okay, that didn't happen, but. Okay, I have a nomination and a couple of seconds, so I will take a vote. I think we usually do it by the same roll call. To accept Paula Daniels as the next chair of the Norton Finance Committee, effective September 18th, 2023 at 8:09 p.m. Kevin?
Yes.
Paula?
Yes.
Steve? still no back. Trace,
Yes.
Sandy,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Yes.
and I too am a yes. That is 10. Paula. So now is the time to replace Paula as vice chair. So if there's anyone who would like to nominate someone, I don't think that was a hand up. I think that was Kevin clapping for Paula. This little emoji. Okay, just making sure.
Correct. That was just a clap emoji. I have
Oh,
nothing
well,
to
you
add.
be careful what you're clapping about over there. Anyone like to nominate anyone for vice chair?
I will nominate Joe Parker if he's interested.
Ooh.
Willing, I should say willing.
Second?
Sure.
Anyone else? I have a nomination and a second. Anyone else like to throw anyone else another name out there? Cody's afraid it's going to be him.
I'm too junior in this thing. Don't throw me out there.
Joe Parker is so seasoned. All right. Well, we have a nomination and we have a second, so I will take a roll call vote for Joe. Kevin,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
still no Steve. Okay, Trace.
Yes.
Sandy,
Yes.
Joe.
Yeah.
I don't know if people normally abstain or not, but either way, it's a
Same.
Bill,
Yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
and I too am a yes. You'd like to abstain, Joe?
It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't, but yes, you can abstain if you like. Well, congratulations to you both.
And could I just ask one more thing?
Of course.
Is Zach still going to be the capital rep?
Well, that's a good question. Zach, would you like to continue to be the capital rep?
Sure.
Great. Is there still a permanent building committee rep?
Andy.
Yeah, that's been me. If I'd be happy to continue.
Great. And do we have any other reps? Do we have a select board or school committee rep? I can't remember.
Think so.
Okay. I think we just started having meetings with them so that we could stay up to date and in communication. Were there any other boards that we needed reps for?
Not that I can think of,
Besides
no.
capital. Okay. Madam Chair,
Yes.
we have 3 sets of minutes. I'm happy to continue doing this, but it is your role now, so it's up to you. The 2nd of May, the 9th of May, and the 16th of May.
Of 2022, I noticed.
22, yes.
Is everyone able to go through this now? All right, getting a couple nods. We can start with May 2nd, 2022. Feel
I
free to
found a
speak
number
up if you see any edits. Who's that, Joe?
Can you hear me? Yeah,
Yep.
that's me. So on page 1, 2 paragraphs after the Article 18 header, if you want to call it that, says Mr. Pearson reviewed the proposed motto, explained its meaning. The it should not have an apostrophe in it.
Good.
3 paragraphs beyond that, we can take out the also and also, which is minor. The paragraph below that should say Mr. Pearson replied, he is aware.
Not his, it is.
Aware. On the next page, 3rd paragraph, 4th sentence, the second is how it will be implemented effectively.
3rd paragraph. What did you say? Oh,
Starts with Ms. Sawyer.
Yeah. Smack dab in the middle of that paragraph is
It's implemented rather than implanted.
Yeah, exactly. Paragraph below that, Zach's last name is misspelled.
I noticed that too. But actually, Zach is with a K, is it not? Oh, we can't hear you.
Yes, it is.
On page 1 in the first paragraph, Paula, it's with an H.
Yep, I see that.
There's just a couple more places where Zach's name is misspelled, so I think anywhere it is. Joe, we can't hear you. Joe, we still can't hear you.
I don't know why Zoom keeps putting me randomly on mute.
Now we can hear you.
That's all I have for this document.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? I'm hearing nothing. The chair would entertain a motion to accept the minutes from May 2nd, 2022 as amended.
So moved.
Sure. Okay, go ahead. Second.
Okay, and now I take a roll call vote. Sorry, I'm still new with this. Okay. Okay, Sandy,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Trace,
Abstain.
Bill,
Yes.
Cody,
Abstain.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
And Paul.
Yes.
Okay, and I am also yes. So 10 yeses.
I think 9 because Steve said.
9. Yes.
8 if there were 2 abstains.
Oh, sorry. Yes, 2 abstains.
Absent.
Okay. All right, looking at the minutes from May 9th, 2022.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
So page 1, about halfway down the page in the paragraph that starts Mr. Frank Fournier. The second to last line should say looking at alternative power.
Yep. See that?
Then down to page 3. Second paragraph should say Ms. Yezekevich asked.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Page 6. No, sorry, page 7. Paragraph 2. Zach's last name is spelled once again. You're a victim throughout these, Zach. I think that's all I have for this one.
Okay, anyone else? Right. Okay, the chair would then entertain a motion to accept the meeting minutes from May 9th, 2022 as amended.
So moved.
Okay, and roll call vote. Sandy,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Trace,
Abstain.
Bill,
Yes.
Cody,
Abstain.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
And Paul.
Yes.
Okay. 7 yes, 2 abstain. And the last set of minutes are from May 16th, 2022.
I missed one I found on page 2 and 4. Again, Zach's last name is misspelled.
All right.
It's interesting they get it right on the first paragraph, but nowhere else.
Cody, was this your first meeting? How exciting.
That's all I have.
Notes in these minutes. Okay. Hearing nothing, the chair would entertain a motion to accept the minutes from May 16th, 2022 as amended.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call, Sandy
Yes.
and Bonnie.
I'll abstain since I was not there, as long as there are enough votes. So I'm going to say abstain.
Okay, Trace,
Abstain.
Bill,
Yes.
Cody,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Joe.
Yeah.
And Paul.
Yes.
Okay, and we have 7 yes to abstain.
Wait, are there 8 yes?
Madam, yeah.
2 abstentions?
Oh, and then I'm also a yes. Sorry, 8 yes. Sorry.
Myself and Trace abstained. Cody was yes this year.
And Madam Chair, on the previous set of minutes, I think you did 7-2 again. There
Because I
should
did
have
not
been 8.
vote 8 yes.
Thank you.
Okay, bear with me, people. Okay, any other business to bring up tonight? We'll be meeting again next Monday at 7. Week from tonight, and then also next Thursday evening at the Norton High School Library.
I do have another set of minutes that I forwarded to you, Paula.
Yeah, I'll send those out. I'll send those out tomorrow in preparation for next Monday.
They're from May 22, but she said they're the last ones.
What was that, Joe?
I was going to say, I know it's an email somewhere, but the joint meeting, is that also at 7 p.m.?
I believe so, yeah.
Mhm.
Are we also meeting with the select board too, or is it just the school committee? Mike,
That one is just the school committee.
is it? Okay. All right. Okay. Anyone else, or the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn this evening at 8:23.
So moved.
Okay. Sandy,
Yes.
Bonnie,
Yes.
Trace.
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
and Cody,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Paul. Paul, you a yes?
Yes.
And I too am a yes. I remember to vote this time. Okay, good evening, everyone. See you next week.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Good night.